Hello, May 28th, Courage to Change. Thanks for joining me. I have heard it said that the only valid comparisons are between myself as I am and myself as I used to be. I like that. Yeah. I have heard it said that the only valid comparisons are between myself as I am and myself as I used to be. All I have to do is be better than yesterday. That's what I figure. So I like this reading. When I think of step 2 and of being restored to sanity, which is such a comparison comes to mind, I remember an incident some 20 years ago in which I was riding my motorcycle to a meditation class. I was late and in a big hurry to arrive on time. Right outside the meeting place, I crashed my bike. My attempt to force solutions, to rush to an encounter with serenity, I had failed. Did I feel contrite? Not exactly. Even then, I felt the irony of rushing to meditation. But mainly, I felt angry that the town had failed to maintain the road on which I was riding. Rather than taking responsibility for my own haste and carelessness, I blamed others and saw myself as a victim. I did not feel thankful to have survived. I felt angry that I had been roughed up and thrown off schedule. Today's reminder, looking back, I see many examples of the grace of a power greater than myself at work in my life. I see progress in being restored to sanity, and I am increasingly confident that my progress will continue. Well, that first part of the story, of course, I didn't relate with. I don't ride a motorcycle. To a meditation class. Okay, that makes more sense because they were thinking about still rushing to meditation. I was going to say, who meditates when they get in an accident? But what I do relate to is blaming someone else, right? So this person was rushing. So it was really, they were late in a big hurry to arrive on time and they crashed. And tried to force, solutions. So it's a weird analogy, but I get it for sure. I get it. It's always someone else's fault. You know what I mean? It's so much easier if it's just someone else's fault. It's hard to say, you know what, this is my responsibility, and I was trying to force it, you ever heard that story? You know what this reading reminds me of? You ever heard that story? I don't know if it's true or not, but there's like this little story. They posted many years after 9/11. And they said, so-and-so was supposed to be in the building, but was late because they missed the subway. Mrs. So-and-so was sick that day. You know what I mean? Mr. Blue Jeans, missed his taxi and couldn't get there, or you know what I mean? There was all these things that seemed like really bad things that happened, right? And yet those people did not end up going to work that day. Somebody had a crown fall off or something and had to go to the dentist, and you know what I mean? There's all these things, and I'm sure in the moment that person was going, God damn it, I missed the subway. You know what? If that bus wouldn't have been right there, I could have ran across the street and got here on time, right? Those buses, God damn it. Just blaming, and later to find out that saved their life. So, I'm always quick to blame. But, and I really can't. I mean, life is life on life's terms. I have to settle down. I have to try to do what I'm supposed to do and take responsibility, if I did crash my motor, I mean, of course I'm going to blame, but then later I'm going to come back and say, if I wasn't late, a lot of things happen like that to me. And I really have to look at the glass half full. I can't be a victim anymore. I just can't be a victim anymore. That self-pity and remorse, and it just eats me alive. And I'm just unproductive. I'm unhappy, and I'm worthless to everyone around me. So I really like the idea that I can take responsibility, and I might only know a little part of the story. I shared that the other day about, the movie, the full movie's going on, and I see a little bit of the movie, and I want to call the whole show, and then later it ends up I was way off base because I only had a little information. So You know, I like that reading. I get it. You know, I'm not a victim. Sometimes a power greater than myself is saving me from myself, and I just have to accept it, right? Like those people at 9/11. I'm sure they're pretty grateful now that the crown fell off, right? Seemed like such a tragic thing at the moment, and then come to find out it saved you from being work that day. And you know, an unusual example, I'm sure, but it is a good example that God, and you know, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use that as an example, because people are going to say, then are you saying it was God's will that all those other people died? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know. I'll have to ask him when I see him, or ask her when I see her, why things happen the way they do. I know that things happen the way they do, and I'm powerless over it. So I have to look for the gratitude, and I have to look for the acceptance, and try to be an asset instead of a liability. You know, becoming a victim to circumstances certainly doesn't help anyone else. So, you know, interesting reading. Not sure if I should have used that example, but it seems to fit. You know what I mean? We only see a little part of the picture. Maybe God is doing for us what we can't do for ourselves. Have a great day. Bye.